Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of Stay Haunted.
Hola.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
I'm
Hey,
Chris.
everybody in chat.
Audra. Those
Don.
Dos Cocos.
cocotillos.
Those Cocos. And this is episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
So episode 1, we were what?
Forget.
Virgins.
Virgins, right. See, I don't
Podcast.
know.
Your podcast virgins.
Right.
Episode 2, we were no longer virgins. We were
Podcast
were
sluts.
sluts. So now what are we?
Podcast whores.
Well, who was?
You are now podcast whores. From this point on, you're a podcast whore.
Right. So we're good. I won't bring this up anymore.
Any further?
Can't go anymore. Can't go any deeper than that.
Well,
It's going to go from Stay Haunted to podcast pornography. It's not, guys. So don't get your hopes up. I know Scott and Everett just started clapping.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Lori.
Yep. Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
Tommy, Karen.
Monday night.
Thanks for joining.
I'm allowed to say that now.
Yeah, happy Monday night. I can
Happy
say
Monday
that now.
night.
Thanks a lot for saying hi to us, Everett. That's cool.
Dang. Blacklisted already?
How you do?
I do.
Anthony, I got a cannoli for you, Anthony.
Look at you. Gotta love Melissa.
She's awesome.
You just gotta love Melissa.
Brown chicken cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
there you go.
So, how was your weekend?
Church
How was your Easter? Happy Easter to everybody.
Yes, happy Easter to everybody.
Easter. Hope everybody had a good weekend with the family, and it was good. My son came down. Our son came down from Raleigh, and I cooked pretty much what was left in my freezer. Trying to use stuff up, get ready for the big move. Alex helped Chris move a couple things into the pod to fill that up. I have got 2 days left of work, and then I'm homeless for work.
Homeless for work.
Homeless for work.
I kicked her out.
Nice.
Other than that, it was actually a good weekend. How about you guys?
Quiet. Went
it
to my
was quiet.
sister's.
Went to her sister's.
Played with all the little kids. And thankful ours are grown.
Saturday, we were at the Saturday night. We were at the Ritz with Parasite Experience. With
Nice. Okay.
they did put on a workshop. Very nice. Anthony and Frankie, the Meg system that Anthony has, the grading system.
I have a tricycle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then I thank God you said it, because I can never say it. And I won't even try. And then Frankie did his spirit therapy, kind of his presentation and stuff. And it was actually good, and ran it with Ron and Lourdes with TDSE. And it was a cool session. I mean, it really, really cool session. So
That's awesome.
good evening. So
That's awesome.
Good.
We also did the handoff of the Montgomery house to PPIT on Saturday.
Right.
Introduced them all to Mrs. Montgomery and
Reintroduced
them. Yeah.
They've been there a handful of times for sure.
And from my understanding, they got there at 10:30 because we met them at 11.
okay.
And apparently they didn't leave until 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Wait to see their evidence this time.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Here you go. Here's Ash.
Actually, I think Zach, right? Zach messaged me and he said they got all kinds of crazy dead bell activity.
Yeah. I know. I told him, and I
That's
said,
awesome.
"You got to put the dead bell in Mrs. Montgomery's chair in the parlor."
Yep. So,
Trying to give her a little boost.
hey, Ron Lourdes.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what we did.
Is that something about me?
Prepping for the move still.
About you?
For the move. So to give everybody a heads up, we will be here. Audra and I will be here next week. And then the following week, unfortunately, we will not be able to attend because our internet won't be hooked up in our new house in Ohio yet. So Todd and Carmela will be here hosting for y'all.
We got to go solo?
You're going to go solo on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Dos Cocos on Cinco de Mayo.
Mayo, there you go. Dos
Better have
Cocos
your
on Cinco de
margaritas
Mayo.
ready.
I guess we're going to have to make margaritas for that.
Sure.
Looking forward to it, and we hope that the move for you guys goes smoothly, and you know.
Oh, yeah. As many times as we've done it, now we're pros.
That's sad.
It's terribly sad. Terribly. Well, I got to get that Canadian accent in there now that we're moving to Toledo. Pay really close attention,
It's
y'all.
not that bad.
So Toledo is about an hour south of Detroit. Detroit is with literally minutes from the Canadian border. And you will see every now and then Audra will say sorry. Once in a while she'll say in my house.
I don't say it like that.
Like that. See, she's already started. We haven't even moved there yet.
That was pronounced that way on purpose.
We're not going to Fargo. It's not don't you know.
No.
No.
Not that far north.
Not that far north.
No. Close enough. Close enough.
Anyway.
Let's get to our guests.
Let's get to our guests.
Yes.
We do.
We do have guests.
A couple
Pretty sure we
really
do.
cool chicks.
You know, we were sitting here talking and then you guys just brought that up and I was like, well, that was weird.
Because we were going to maybe try and mix in just
Was
occasional. We were going to mix in just kind of additional chats with us, just kind of. But we're booked out through what? I think
through July. Almost,
July.
yeah. We're booked into July. But we're booked tonight with some people that are kind of weird. And well, that was weird. Was kind of a
you beat me to it.
Yeah. So
well, that was weird.
Without further ado, Melissa likes the segue. Without further ado, everybody, please welcome our awesome friends, Miss Carrie Hopper and Erin Bush from Well, That Was Weird. Now, Well, That Was Weird is not the only thing you guys do.
No. Right.
Tell everybody.
Deep breath.
Who wants to go
Erin, why
first?
don't you start? You're the Paranormal Girl Friday working for a bunch of us. You start with all the stuff you
Girl
do.
Friday. Oh, is that who we have?
Hey, Everett.
What all do I do? Oh, so I do some kind of admin type work for the parents. I do work for Cody and Satori. I do a lot of graphic design work for thumbnails for Dead Air, Full Spectrum. I'm a there on occasion. I worked at the Conjuring House for a while as a caretaker and did their like all their administrative stuff. That was before things went.
Yeah.
But I've just kind of found I have a kind of a weird skill set in admin. Who thought that would help in paranormal land? But here we are. And so I do a little bit of a lot of things. I'm a Reiki. I do Reiki work. I'm a Reiki healer. I always forget that part. And am I missing anything? Carrie sometimes knows better than I do. I'm learning.
You got it with the Reiki. Yeah. She we own a skincare business and she infuses all of our products with Reiki. So basically she's the foundation of the whole entire operation. I was like, Reiki. Mention the Reiki.
Wait, Reiki?
It's been a long 2 years, y'all. Okay, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's been a lot that's been going on. Yeah, so
but that's me in that nutshell.
Yeah, that's I do the show. Well, That Was Weird with Erin every other Thursday, and I'm the founder of History of Haunting podcast. We have actually kind of been on hiatus for over a year now. Laura and I have had a lot of stuff going on and haven't been able to pick up and start recording again, much to a lot of our fans' dismay. We get a lot of messages about, when are you coming back? Are you coming back? What is happening? Which we are, we just don't know when. And then Mary Beth. So I started a skincare business. It's all crystal energy and Reiki infused, thanks to my lovely friend here. And then I also own and operate with a number of fantastic healers a spiritual wellness center called Let It Shine. So spiritual wellness. So I'm a very busy girl.
That sounds like a full plate for both of you.
Yes. Yeah, it sure is. It sure
Fun,
is.
though. At least it's fun.
Yeah, it's really where.
Sorry for the
kind of-
squeaking.
You're good.
Okay. We are a pet-friendly podcast for everybody that's aware.
That we are.
Bernie's timing is, as usual, on point.
Impeccable.
So we know what you guys currently do. Tell us how
it infused together.
yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you. I have my moments.
You're like, well, I was due. Well, through my podcast, I started doing paranormal investigations when I was living in Arizona, my friend Archie and I. And we found that there was this old abandoned hospital down in Ajo, Arizona that was offering paranormal investigations publicly. So my cousin and I had gone down there, and that is where I had the fortune of meeting Chris and Audra and Tony and Cherie, who were running Copper Canyon at the time. And then they just plucked me out of obscurity and took me under their wing to train me as a paranormal investigator. So that's how I got started doing actual investigations. And then we all moved back here. And
we had no idea, by the way, just so y'all know.
It wasn't planned.
Was not planned. It just happened that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned at all. No. So my family and I moved to Raleigh. So we weren't that far from them. We started investigating Trans-Allegheny and
Old Hospital in College Hill.
Old Hospital in College Hill. I love that place. And then we also did the USS North Carolina. And we started going to Gettysburg. And so, it's through them I've been very fortunate to meet a number of you guys, of course, Carmela and Todd. I met Ron and Lourdes through EVPE when they had their show. I've been able to see them do their amazing thing at Gettysburg. And man, could we spend hours. Could we spend hours with that, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
No doubt.
yeah. So then we also met PPIT. We met Zach and his dad, and Donna and Connie, who there went Erin. Her internet.
Lost
Yeah,
Erin.
she just said it squirrely. I'm like, no, she's doing good. And then bloop, she's gone.
She'll be back. She'll be back.
Yeah. So, we met Zach and his dad. Zach's dad has a name, but we don't call him by his name. It's just Zach's dad. And through that, we were able to meet Scott and Heather and Everett and Tori and Jennifer. And no, Jennifer, I didn't cut my hair. I'm just growing it out. I just keep it pulled back. That was an old picture. I just sort of this amazing life that I found myself one day deciding, do I want to live solely in the spiritual world and just kind of like have that be what I want to do for the rest of my life? Or do I want to kind of try to still straddle these two different worlds? And I decided, you know what? I don't. I want to live in the spiritual world. I want to do these amazing and wonderful things with these amazing and wonderfully weird people. Andrea Perron blew my third eye open about 3 years ago, and all of my abilities came screaming out, and I have never been the same since. They grow all the time, and so I only use them on paranormal investigations, though. So
Cool.
Carrie remembered me. I can stop watching now. Who could forget you, babe?
Nobody can forget Everett.
Erin, for the love of God.
Erin.
Believe it or not, guys, Erin does like us.
Poor Erin.
So
I
for
know.
everybody watching, Erin lives way the hell out in the middle of nowhere in Maine.
Yeah.
We got to get her Starlink.
Yeah. Well,
We have to do something because we got a
That
show
is
Thursday.
Starlink.
So, hi, Anthony. My mom says hello. She is your biggest fan. My mom, Nancy, is Anthony Simonelli's biggest fan.
and she was my biggest fan. I thought
your
I was
friend.
her
No,
friend.
you're friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
Chris.
friends. Yeah, you're friends.
let's say.
Yeah,
to
she's
talk to Nancy.
Anthony's biggest fan. Erin just texted my internet just totally crashed. Gonna keep trying.
Poor girl.
We are here for you, Erin.
Yep.
We are here for you, Erin. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, I've got a wonderful group of folks, and they are looking at the chat. They're all here. Hi, everyone.
I
awesome.
know.
And
It's
we
amazing.
appreciate them coming out and supporting you
Monday.
guys and tuning in on a Monday night chatting.
Yep.
Yeah,
my-
absolutely.
Monday night hangouts are fun.
There they are.
Most appearances all in one episode. She is such a diva. Oh,
She is. She's going to get
Maybe
the
she's
award
doing
for the
a
most
record.
appearances in one episode.
World record.
Seriously.
World record.
All
yeah.
right, Carrie, I have to circle
So-
back around. Are you not working at?
You know what? I am not. Nope, I'm not.
Ah,
I was working. I was a Medicare sales agent
yeah.
for a while,
Mhm.
and then I had developed Achilles tendinosis in both of my ankles,
Okay.
where
You had
the
surgery.
tendon started to tear.
Yeah.
And I had to have surgery on the right one in the end of December.
Right,
I'm still
right.
in physical therapy for that. And I have to have surgery on the left one next. And because of that, they swell if I'm on them too much, or if I'm sitting for too long. So because my job was a call center environment, I had to go on disability because they were like, you can't take 30-minute breaks every 10 minutes,
Oh,
which I thought was rude, but whatever.
I know.
Bitches.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
So demanding.
yeah. So my short-term disability ran out. I applied for long-term disability and they denied it, and they denied the appeal. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I need to resign. So I'm looking for work if anyone's hiring. Me and Audra we're work homeless.
We are work homeless.
They are workless homes.
We're work homeless. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's fine. I have my businesses and, they keep me plenty busy. They're not doing well enough that I can like get income from them yet. But yeah, we're doing good. Coy's going to school. He's back starting college next week, in
Aw,
fact. So,
good. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
mhm. Really, really proud of him. Yeah, Everett, it did suck a lot. And every time I tell somebody about they're like, oh God, what did they do? They regret asking me because you always hear of like hurt your Achilles tendon. It's a big, big problem. Fortunately, I live in the Research Triangle, so I have the finest medical teams with Duke ever. So
Yeah.
this
Duke
surgery
is
was
awesome.
a super dream, and
Yep.
I don't have a problem having surgery on the left foot, which probably won't be until the end of this year, just because I've got Gettysburg coming up and I've got holidays. I'm taking my mom home to Phoenix
Oh, okay.
in October.
Are you leaving her there? Or?
Yeah, I've had it. Just
She's done.
take
One
your
way ticket.
dog and no. She's she traveling for too long is something that's become tougher for her. So she wanted to go back to Phoenix one more time. So we're gonna go home and see the friends and the family and do all the stuff. I think in October. And
Nice.
Yeah, don't
Best month.
best
besides,
month
like,
to do
March.
it. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
do it in August. No, hell
Yeah,
no.
Mm-mm.
absolutely. So
Y'all have over adjusted from Phoenix to North Carolina. I went out to go run errands this afternoon, and I went outside and it was 87 degrees. I'm like, Jesus,
Uh-huh.
get out here.
mad about it. So mad about it.
So tell us a little about, until Erin can pedal fast enough to get her internet going. Tell us a little bit about, well, that was weird.
So, well, that was weird. Is it's a show on the Dead Air Full Spectrum Network, and it was kind of created. Ken and George had me and Erin on their show before, like separately, and they knew that Erin and I were good friends. And I had talked about, they had me on their show talking about being an evidential medium. And
everybody watching that little swirly thing is Erin.
Hi, Erin.
We're teleporting.
it
Teleporting
might be her
Erin in.
dog. That might
Teleport
be
Erin in.
right? Erin, come in. Like, let's all just pull her in.
Let's pull her in.
Run to the light, child. Run to the light.
So there's a little swirly thing.
Right? Bless her heart.
Horse
So, there she is. So I will wave towards Apache Junction. So I had been on their show talking about being an evidential medium, and essentially what that is that's somebody that gets either downloads from spirit, or they're clairaudient, or they're clairsentient, or they're clairvoyant, and they can back up what they're getting through either historical record or experiences from living individuals. Hi,
Hey, welcome
you got on
back.
your phone, didn't you?
We'll see.
Oh,
It's all right.
You need to
do it
be
again.
Turn your
Do it
phone
again.
sideways. Just turn your phone sideways.
That might be sideways.
Unless it is
Yeah,
sideways.
my phone. Everything's freaking out tech-wise
There you
over
go.
here.
We're good.
There you
Okay.
go.
Just like that. Just like that.
We're good.
Sorry, guys.
Don't move.
Jeez.
Don't move. You're good.
So that's sort of my ability. And so Ken and George wanted to talk to me about that and have me on the show with regard to that. Erin, same kind of thing. She doesn't, well, Erin, talk about your abilities. They're wanting to know how that was weird was created. So I was kind of
Oh.
sharing our background.
Did you give them kind of the background on what our original idea was, I'm assuming already?
No, not yet. Explaining
We
my
had
ability.
talked a couple of years ago about feeling like there was some like a space missing where people could, come and find a space where they could ask questions, whether it was about their abilities or, experiences they had. And we really kind of wanted to do it, based off Facebook, but really kind of make it a community. But then we, stuff started hitting the fan and life started happening. And then we just kind of had to shelve it. So when, like Carrie was saying, when Ken approached us about doing the show, that was kind of like, okay, well, this is supposed to be the iteration of what we wanted it to look like. It's just going to be in a little bit of a different format. So for me, I obviously came into my abilities 40 or became aware of them, I guess, whatever you want to say. For me, claircognizance is the big one. I just get like downloads of information. I just will know stuff. And then my other strongest one is, I guess they call it like clairtangience, which I think is like a subset. I don't know. It's one of those clairs, but where, like, if you go into a haunted space and there's been a murder or someone's suffocated, I feel that. So not my most favorite ability, but right. So, I kind of have to be cautious energetically when I walk into a space like that, because you can prepare for all you want, but there's certain things like that you just can't prepare for. So those are probably my two strongest, the claircognizance and then I think it's called clairtangience or something like that. I know clairsentience, but clairtangience I think is under that.
You know what? We should cover that on the show. I'm going to write that down.
Probably wrong. But I think for me, it was kind of going through this experience and kind of opening up to the abilities was such a train wreck. Like, I think for Carrie and I, it was important to, if we're being given this space to kind of discuss the stuff, that we give it to people from a realistic standpoint without all the fluff and the, give it to people straight. Like, it's not always fun, right? I mean, this isn't a fun experience for a lot of us who come into this stuff later in life and you're like, am I nuts? What's going on? I've lost my mind. Like, I don't trust anything anymore. And I think to be authentic in a way where we are just coming from our perspective and that's it. We're just trying to give it from our experiences alone, good, bad, and ugly. I think it was really important for us to maintain that as a space where we could do that. And also give a safe place for people to crash and ask questions. And that's kind of how that all kind of came together.
Yeah. I mean, and Chris and Andrea, you guys know, you remember what that was like for me after Andrea blew up in my third eye. I had no idea what any of this was, because for me it started with psychometry, and I
Mhm.
didn't know what that was. I mean, you know, you always see like Cindy Kaza on TV, and you see April, and you see, you know, Teresa Caputo, and you're like, oh my God, that would be so amazing. It's not amazing.
Nope.
When you
No.
don't know how to handle it or how to
Right.
control it. And I remember going and investigating like Montgomery House with you guys or the Trivet Clinic, and I had gotten a little bit better at it, but I remember coming home and telling my mom, like, it works so differently for Chris. Like, what's he doing
Yeah.
that I'm not? Well,
Right.
one, he's had it his whole life. Okay.
Mhm.
Two, I'm brand new to it, but it's different for everyone. And I just thought, hey, if you've got it, you've got it. And it's the same for everybody. But
Yeah.
so I would be really like upset, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, Chris can do this, that, and the other thing. Why can't I? Well, because that's not how it works for me.
Yep.
And I don't think a lot of people realize this when they either like start to develop their abilities, or they come into them, like she said, later in life, or maybe they've had them their whole life, but they've been ignoring them.
Right.
You know, and so maybe they're growing and they don't, like, they're trying so hard to push them away.
Mhm.
But I think you have to look at it almost like a fingerprint. I mean, everybody is individual
Yeah.
regardless.
Mhm.
So if you take that gift, whatever you want to call it, whatever
Right.
anybody's comfortable calling it,
Yeah.
take that and adjust it to your fingerprint,
Yeah.
then you work much better with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made
Good
it a
point.
lot
Much better
easier.
describing shit than I am.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you know,
and-
again, we've all dealt with. Carmela deals with it. Todd is kind of getting there. And you have
Brick.
to figure
That's
it out.
representative of brick. That's what I am.
Right. Well, and what you two are doing is amazing, because and Carrie brought it up. I've had this stuff since I was a kid. I stepped away when I was like 12 because I had an experience that scared the shit out of me.
Right.
And then when I was 15, 16, I'm like, screw that. I'm not going to be afraid of this stuff anymore. And I dove into it and I accepted all my abilities. And this is something that I've done. Guys, I'm 52 years old. I accepted it when I was 15. And then when somebody like Carrie, I felt bad when somebody like Carrie comes to me and goes, help me. And I don't know how to help, because
Yeah.
it's something that I've settled into is almost involuntary at this point. And
Yeah.
Carrie's, I mean, almost psychotic at some point, because everything's coming in at once and she hasn't had the time to adjust to it, to where, to me, it's something I wake up
Of
with.
course, yeah, second nature. Yeah. Fortunately, Chris was such a source of support for me, because he could see like that I was spinning out with regard to certain things, or like certain downloads, or what. It started with me with psychometry. And like I said, I would pick up like a water bottle, or we had groceries delivered the one day and I'm unloading the groceries. And as I picked up the milk to put in the fridge, I got a flash that our Instacart driver hates his job. He's only doing it because his mother made him.
Oh my.
What kind of bullshit is that? Like,
And Carrie wanted to go, dude, move out of your mom's basement.
I was like, it was just bananas. And so fortunately, Chris is like, you have to just lean into it. That his advice was very, it was very priceless for me, because I could fight it, but it wasn't, that would make it worse. And so being able to go and investigate with him and just really learn how to kind of flex it, because they're like a muscle. These abilities that we've got, they're like a muscle. And if you want to learn how to control them, to make them stronger, you have to use them. And there's no one better to practice with than Chris Allgood, because he has such strong abilities and such control over them that
You're making me blush, girl.
that it was good training for me. Aside from, I mean, I also took like online classes with Cindy Kaza, but to really be out there and like going into a haunted location and being able to train with him really was priceless for me. And then from there, I was just able to kind of trust myself. But it isn't easy. It sucks. It sucks. And that's why Listen,
Hey,
it's
Erin.
live. I had to say something. It's not easy. Yeah, I know. And now but that's okay because, we've got a lot of places we want to investigate in the Ohio area. Then I'm going to be like, guess what? We're doing OSR again. Come on.
OSR is 120 or an hour and 20 minutes from our house.
Yeah, Chris and Audrey are going from kind of, managing the Montgomery house to, that was their thing, I think, for the most part. But now, right? How many places you got within 11 minutes, 6 minutes of the house?
Yeah, and I don't mean to take away from Carrie and Erin because they're our guests, but guys, moving to North Carolina, and Carrie can vouch for this, attest to this. North Carolina, they're very private people. It is hard to find a location.
Very.
For us to find and Carrie had a part in helping us find and get into the Montgomery house. To find the Montgomery house was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
We have been trying to find locations in North Carolina, and it is difficult. People are very private here. Where we are moving, it's called Perrysburg, Ohio, just outside of Toledo. They call it Perfectsburg. It's the snobs of Toledo, right? Which Audra's like, yes. There is 15 different locations within a 10-minute drive of our new house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is the Tautogany Cemetery that you guys have seen multiple evidence on our old podcast that we caught. We're literally a 10-minute drive from that.
Yeah, because it's back near where my parents live.
So Carrie and Erin, you come to Ohio and
we have an extra room.
We have an extra room for you
Hey,
guys.
that's ours. Don't give that up.
Don't give
That's
our
ours.
room away. What was our room?
We don't live there.
We have 2 rooms.
We have 2 extra rooms.
How's that?
Yeah.
We can do air mattresses. We're good.
Yeah, we got 2 rooms.
And a basement. We've got a
And
basement.
a full basement and 3 potties. We're good to go.
Good to
Plenty of
go.
space.
For the men out there, a potty is a restroom.
Oh, sorry.
It's a toilet.
But anyway,
A lavatory.
so no more wine during podcasts.
Latrine? How about a latrine?
No, it's not a latrine in
An
a
outhouse?
house. No.
Sorry, back to Erin and Carrie. The fuck was that?
Oh, you know what, guys? Scott, Everett.
What?
It's the red buckets.
Oh,
The red
yeah.
buckets Chris uses. Now we know.
Red buckets.
Now we know.
Red buckets.
What?
The red buckets.
Red
What do
buckets.
my red buckets mean?
Those are the potty.
That's not even the red bucket.
So when we go on a group investigation, y'all, if I find that in my red bucket, y'all in deep shit.
Literally.
Literally.
Maybe.
Really?
You drink what you eat. You drink what you leave in my red bucket.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Okay.
We just went off the fucking rails.
Absolutely. And this is exactly how our show goes.
Yep.
This is exactly how our show goes. We call it a train wreck. It is
What it is.
that's what it is. And we cover like so much different stuff. Like we've covered chakras, we've covered crystals, we've covered spells, we've covered we were just looking at all of our
We've done some
like,
deep
what are we
dives
covering
into
this
the
week?
harder stuff too, like not having a consistent practice, and like we try to come up with stuff that is pertains to our
mediumship
lives at the moment.
investigations and manifesting. That's a big one we talk about a lot on the show is manifesting and how to do that and what that really looks like. Because it's all very well and good to be like, I manifest a job that's going to pay me real well and I'm just going to let it. Okay, great.
Right.
Right.
Erin, teach me that trick.
Well, that's
But,
But
right?
when life sucks, how do you? Yeah.
Right. But what happens to do that is that in order to get that kind of stuff that's going to benefit your greatest and highest good, old shit's got to get moved out. And not a lot of people know that. So they just think they're getting something.
Are you telling me I'm your old shit?
No. Well, I was talking. So a lot of I sent Carmela a video about abilities and stuff like that, and we all have the abilities we've heard it from multiple people, Rich Michella, other mediums, psychics, that we all have that ability within us. It's just a matter, like you said, it's a muscle. You got to train it, work it.
I don't work out.
We've been together since high school, and I've always thought she was crazy. But now, since we've, we're still relatively young. I mean, we've always done ghost history tours, never really formal investigations. But then she started to over the past 3 years, being sensitive.
He's crazy.
I'm crazy.
I'm not.
Yeah. And so all those things you were talking about, right? She would start getting those senses, those visions, and people like, oh, who's this, who's that type of thing. And she didn't know how to handle it. And she was nervous about letting that in and opening it up, Carrie. Like,
I disappeared.
Not
magic tricks even we're giving the audience.
It eats fucking magic.
Well, and I love that you girls took that on. I remember this conversation a few years back, as Erin said, that we kind of round tabled it for a little bit. So I'm so glad that you guys actually did something with it and bring, other people. Right.
There's not a lot out there. And I feel like a lot of what's out there isn't always realistic. And I think it sets people up for expectations that are unreasonable, and then it makes them feel like they don't have a place to really explore it and make mistakes and feel foolish and all. Like, I think for us it was really important to give people a space to do that, because I certainly didn't have anything like that. I mean, I was fortunate to run into all of you people that helped a ton, and I think that's one of the few times when you people is a good way of saying it. But I think in sort of fumbling because I just sort of dropped into the paranormal out of nowhere, and I was lucky enough to crash with all these amazing people who were willing to help me learn and grow and experience things. And I know John's, for me, one of the big ones, I really was uncomfortable calling out what I was getting. And, kind of standing in the corner, and John Zappis just ripped that right out, and at his museum, he's like, girl, you got to just start saying it. Because you're not wrong. You've got to start getting comfortable in voicing what you're picking up and what you're experiencing. Because I still, and to some degree, still struggle with that. Tapping into, not tapping into them, but believing what I'm getting, right? And I know that comes with time, and then of course all the stuff at the Conjuring House didn't really help either. But it's you kind of have to give yourself permission to explore it. And we were missing that space on the internet, is what I felt like.
Yeah.
And I feel like. Are we a huge show? No, but with the same people, and a lot of them are in the chat, they show up week after week. And to me, I would rather have a smaller group of people who are actually there because they want to learn something.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you're friends with and who's your famous friends and who you know and it doesn't matter. What matters is showing up, being honest, and wanting people to want to come back because they do want to learn, or they're identifying or resonating with something like that. To me, is what's the most important part, and I think Carrie would agree.
Yeah, absolutely. We created this amazing little community. We love it.
And I know me personally, I was excited to have you guys on because we've heard about Reiki healers and the different practices and stuff. It's like that's like speaking a foreign language to me. So that's something that I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing that insight that in your experiences, because it's new to us, within the paranormal field.
Reiki's
stuff.
Wild, man.
So So I have a question. Is that for both of you actually? So do you have, as far as Reiki or other methods that you practice, is there one kind of strength that you focus on out of your kind of abilities, I guess, per se, for both of you, either one of you?
For me, with the Reiki, I tend to be drawn on a focus of chronic pain. And I don't know if that's because I've dealt with chronic pain myself, but the energy that I'm typically channeling is galactic. And the galactics I have somehow managed to get to work with are healers anyway. So for me, the focus on people who hurt chronically, like pain-wise, seems to be where my energy is the most. Well, I'm sorry, my channeling of that energy is the most powerful. That's one thing I always tell people. If you meet a healer that tells you that they're healing you with their energy, you need to get your checkbook and run. I I think most of us who are healers are basically like a giant copper tube. We're basically just the conduit that brings that energy through. So I don't take any of the credit for the energy work that I do because it's not my energy we're working with, right? But when you start getting into like quantum entanglement and the quantum physics and that sort of end of it, that's how the energy works, right? Because if I'm in Maine, like I am right now, and say you're in China, the distance doesn't matter. The Reiki energy is just as effective as if I'm standing in the room with you as if we are thousands of miles apart, because then you're getting into like the quantum world of things.
Right.
And so for me, I love connecting with people from an energetic standpoint because that's kind of my natural way of connecting anyway. Like I know a lot about you before you've even opened your mouth and we've even met, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to harness that to help people heal and also to help people learn that their bodies can heal themselves, that's where I think the power lies for me, because it's not about me. It's about giving you the tools and clearing out space for you to do the work yourself. Because again, that's also still a muscle, right? Like we've been talking about. And but you have to want to do the work. Like if you want to come and do sessions, great. But if you're not carrying that over into your day-to-day life, that benefit's going to end real quick. Because I can only do so much. I'm just here to hand you the tools, walk you through it. But you actually have to run with it and do those things. And I think Carrie would agree with that as well. So as far as the energetic modality of it for me, and I'm actually getting ready to start a course, a certification on physical pain specifically. I'm starting that this week. So I'll be curious to see how that amplifies things. But I love this stuff because you never run out of stuff to learn about.
Never.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's energy work or it's ability, like whatever it is, there's always plenty of stuff to learn.
We drop the F on every other.
Hey, this is YouTube, baby. Say the F word all you want.
That's why all shows are different. I don't know, but to me, I feel like I'm at the point now, and I think Carrie would agree. And this is part of the reason why we got into this end of things and doing the show is at some point when you've learned so much from the people around you, it's your turn to give that back.
Yeah.
Right. Like pay it forward. So it's always, I've looked at it as just such an honor to be able to get on the show every 2 weeks or do sessions or whatever it is that I'm doing. I've always just felt it an honor to be able to turn around and pay that forward. That was a really long answer. Probably didn't answer the question.
No, that's awesome.
That's my squirrel brain.
It does, and it makes a ton of sense, guys, because energy cannot be created. It cannot be destroyed. Everything is energy. It doesn't matter if we're talking to spirits. It doesn't matter if we're talking to live people. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
And think about I've got 3 monitors and 2 computers sitting in front of me, and
how much energy is swirling
and
around.
how much energy is swirling around, right? It is. So I've got my internal energy is my right hand, and all the energy outside of me is my left hand, and it's going like this
all the time.
And what you guys have to do, and what they teach you, what Karen and Erin teach you in the Reiki, is how to get your energy going like this. Because without it, you don't have balance. You don't have a positive impact. You don't have that energy that affects you. And guys, this has been something that, remember when the bionic bands came out? Yeah. Everybody said it's a bunch of bullshit. No, it's not. It's a way to internalize your internal energy and get it pumping in sync with what's inside. And that's what the focus is, guys.
Yeah.
With all the external energy and technology that we have around us, imagine if your body starts syncing with all the bad crap that's out there instead of syncing with what's internal.
And I always describe it. It's like internet bandwidth. Your own personal energy eventually, especially with the environment we live in the last couple of years with everything going on, aside from your own personal stuff, the collective energy in the world around us, your own personal energetic bandwidth will fill up. And so what happens when that occurs is that you no longer can bring in anything good, and you're certainly not putting out anything good because you're just full. So somebody like a Reiki practitioner will pull and clear space out for you, kind of tamper that back down. So you've got a little more breathing room energetically, so you can start bringing in the good, but that still is up to
you. Have to maintain that.
Yeah. You have to do that yourself.
You have to maintain that. Yeah.
So with Reiki, when you're doing a healing session, are you focusing on a particular part of the body or of that person you're doing a session with? Or is there like one area, kind of start at the head and then go out through your feet or your fingertips, or, like I said, it's all new to me. I've seen it.
Sure.
When we were at White Hill last year, I saw there was tables set up, and my high school buddy who has some health issues was going through, just happened to run into him. I hadn't seen him in a bit, and he was having a session on the table and stuff. So I was just curious about that, just pulling from that experience and having a child that has had a Reiki session.
If I'm in person with somebody, and I don't do a lot of in-person work, but when I do, for me, it's you kind of scan the energetic body with your hands. And for me, I'm looking for heat. So if I start getting heat on someone, then I know I need to work there. If it's distance, which is most of mine are, then things like the downloads start kicking in. Or sometimes they'll just tell me I'm having this problem. But a lot of times, as I'm working on the body, on whatever this problem is, I can usually figure out where in the body it sits. Like I had a weird experience at work the other day where I know my friend's been struggling, and I was like, do you have kidney issues? And she's like, yeah. And I said, you got a lot of energy stored. Trauma stays in the body, right? Again, that's energy. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you don't deal with it, it will put itself somewhere in your body, and you end up getting actually physically sick. So a lot of times I'll get the word, like a download of the information, like kidney or a color, that will sort of kind of guide the energy. But I also know that Reiki energy, it's source. So it's an intelligent energy. It knows exactly where to go, right? So usually if it's a session where because not everybody wants to talk about what's going on, and that's all fine. For me, it's, please let this energy be guided to where it's needed the most and where it's going to serve its own highest good. And then I apply those symbols, Reiki symbols, to those, areas that I sort of pick up on. So if it's a physical in-person thing, I'm looking for heat on the body. And if it's a remote session, it's more, I'm getting downloads of information. I'm sort of feeling it out. Sometimes I'll see the colors where there's issues too. So it just depends on the situation that I'm in. That probably didn't clear up anything.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
I just keep saying I need a lot of work.
Carmela, we all need a lot of work.
Yeah,
I got a lot of baggage.
It's true. It's true.
Don't we all? And then it's one of those things where if you don't deal with it, you get sick. I mean, I firmly believe I manifested some of my pretty intense health issues about 10 years ago because it didn't deal with trauma.
Yeah.
So I firmly believe that energy, if it's not dealt with, will physically make you sick. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but I do think it's true.
Yeah, if you think about like where you carry stress or tension, some people carry it in their neck, some people carry it in their hips, some people, it's the same principle.
Yep.
So the closest we've never done a Reiki session, but our friend Frankie Adeo did sound bowl healing session for us. And it was a wild thing, like to first time ever doing something like that.
Oh yeah, frequency. Cool.
Like, when you're doing the whole process, like I'm seeing the colors through my eyes as he's going through the different bowls and stuff. And I'm like, well, I was seeing purple and I was seeing green. And then I saw like what looked like an eagle eye. And I'm like, well, maybe that's my spirit animal. And then ask her what her spirit animal is.
I broke one of his bowls.
It's a fucking squirrel.
Not me. I had a little rabbit staring at me with big ears. It was red eyes and just staring at me. And then I broke one of his bowls. He told me my energy is too much.
Wow.
During the session, we heard crank, and we're like,
he went, oh shit. And of course I can't relax. I go, what's the matter? He's like, lay back down. I'm like, all right. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
What
I've never heard that. Aren't they like typically pretty thick and sort of
crystal? Yeah, there's selenite usually.
They were
he was going around and doing his thing, and then he cursed and he told me to lay down and be quiet.
Selenite is pretty. Like that's
the Ghostbuster of crystals, as I call it.
It is the Ghostbuster of crystals. It's wonderful. I love.
Got it all over the house.
Did not relax. I don't know what that was, and that scared me.
Yeah.
But sound bowls again, that's frequency. Like when I work with frequency frequency music all the time. I mean, it's frequency for pain relief and joy, and I mean, like, just pick a frequency or pick a feeling, put in frequency music in YouTube, and there's 4,000 options.
Yeah,
I try and put it on at night. Try and put it because there's a different to help you sleep and this and that.
Yep.
And so
yeah.
I used
I can't shut it off. I can't help it. I can't shut it off.
No, I know it's a challenge for you.
Well, if you're not paying attention to it, your body still gets the benefit of the music, which is why it's so helpful when you sleep, because you're already in a relaxed state. You're asleep, so that music is still doing its thing, even though you're completely not aware of it.
So the challenge between the two of us, for me, I can fall asleep probably right now.
Yeah, right. That's true.
But her brain doesn't shut off. So
same with me. Same with me.
That's not a paranormal thing. That's an estrogen thing.
No.
Not to be a chauvinistic pig, but she does
been
this.
together 30 years and she's been like that all the time.
Listen, I will tell you, I was basically an insomniac. It took me 2 to 3 hours to fall asleep every night. I started doing this stuff, getting into it, clearing out space, started listening to a lot of frequency music, and I'm usually sleeping out 10 to 15 minutes just about every single night now with nothing. I don't take anything. If I struggle to sleep, I'll take like valerian root or melatonin, but that happens once in a blue moon. And this is a person I've struggled to sleep every night for years. But there's enough space now, I think, between. And my body also knows it's going to get that frequency every night. So it just I've just kind of flipped the script on the routine, I guess.
Yeah.
But
you
I really
can
don't have
create
any
your own
sleeping
reality. And we talk about that a lot on the show, is that you actually can create your own reality.
Sure can.
You have, and that's scientifically backed. That's not just me being like, just wish hard and you'll get it. You have a thing in your brain called the reticular activating system, where it's responsible for filtering every single piece of information that we get. And the more we tell it that something is important, the more it's going to focus on that.
Yep.
And if we, so it's a very, intention is very, very important.
Powerful. Yeah.
In everything you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything you do. And that was one of the biggest lessons that Chris taught me, is intention with your abilities is key. And so I really had to work hard on that. Setting an intention is not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Nope. Proud of you, because I still can't do it.
Proud.
It's taken
Well,
years.
it's
I still
hard.
work
Yeah.
on it.
And you guys will see it. It's not just about it's not just about the conversations that we're having. It's not just about when you're investigating. You'll see it when Audra and I, we love, absolutely adore the paranormal community. When the drama starts, we disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will purposely disconnect. It's not because I don't like you. It's not because I don't have time for you. It's
that
not.
energy is hurtful.
I will.
It is.
My favorite saying is, do not bring your negative shit into my positive world. I will disconnect just for the pure fact of the negative energy being produced by the drama.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like these people. It's not because I don't respect these people. It's not because I don't want to be around these people. I won't deal with the negative energy because it affects my world. It affects what we do in the paranormal community. It affects our personal lives. It ends up emulating like that surge of energy that will affect you. And I can't stand that shit. So you guys are dead on. I love that.
Well, with our group, with all the stuff with the farmhouse, not to get into that much, but
Good
that
Lord.
was a conscious decision. We protect ourselves with silence. If we stay out of all the drama and the BS and the groups and the shit talking and if we decide to step up and if we feel like we have to address an issue, we do it as a group. We make a group decision. Otherwise, we stay out of it. We don't want to be the focus of any Facebook pages. We don't want to be the focus of any groups. But getting shit on the internet all the time. I mean, I got the least of it, but we've seen what it's done to some of our friends, and we just decided, you know what? We don't need to say a word. If we have to step in, we will. We'll do it the right way. Otherwise, we're out of this. Not our circus, not our monkeys.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a conscious decision you have to make to disconnect from things.
Well, it's funny
because that kind of negative energy, to me, I always call it very sticky.
Sticky,
and it's
like
very,
tar.
it will stick to you like tar, and it's hard to remove.
What was my phrase when we first started? My favorite phrase was what? Love and light, love and light, love and light. I was walking around because I was trying to change my thought process, trying to positive in, because I work in a prison and, it's
wow.
It's been 6 years and talk about negativity. Holy
for sure.
crap.
Don't drop the soap.
Don't drop the soap.
Wow. Yeah. I can't even imagine what that must be like. I would have to put my my guard down or my shield down, like real thick, real hard, lock that in place to be in an environment like that on a daily basis. That's wild. That's pretty wild.
Why do you think I got out of law?
Yeah, I don't.
We dealt with it before they ended up in prison.
I don't know how. I am so amused by these TikToks that are like body cam footage of these drunk people. It was very much, they're very amusing, but I don't know how cops do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. These people are so obnoxious and ridiculous, and these sovereign citizens. My mom and I are constantly like, I don't know how cops do it.
Well, I can tell you from experience, it's not fun because the energy can switch from positive to negative that quick.
Yeah, in a second.
Yeah. They love you. You're awesome. I respect what you're doing. Oh wait, you're telling me something I don't like.
Yeah.
The energy switches that fucking quick. It is. And then you've got to match the energy at a level that controls the energy, which is, guys,
very difficult to do when you're working with individuals that are, one, super inebriated, and two, think that like every cop is out to harm them or hurt them or this. That makes it exceptionally difficult. I can absolutely see how that can flip immediately. Immediately.
Oh, when we would get a call from a client, our first question was, how did you treat your arresting officer?
Right.
Because that's going to tell us everything we need to know about, how you handle things, to how you're going to be able to plea out in front of the state. And I really just kind of want to know what kind of person you are. If you treat an arresting officer like it, and that tells me a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Yeah,
so,
and Scott saying
real
same
quick,
thing with EMS. I don't even know how they would deal with that.
I hate to interrupt you guys. Guys, we're only scheduled for an hour with UNX. The great thing is we also go to our YouTube channel. We are going to continue. We're not supposed to. Race is probably going to yell at me. I love you, Race. You're a great dude. We're going to continue on because we're not done yet with Carrie and Erin, guys. This is not normal. We're not past the hour, but we're not done yet. So I'm not stopping, and I asked for forgiveness before I asked for permission. So sorry, Race.
Always.
We love you, and we love UNX. But UNX is going to their next audio program, guys. But we're going to continue on. We'll be on YouTube. It'll continue on to the Stay Haunted Paranormal YouTube channel. So if you guys want to, make sure you click over to that. If you're not on that channel now, to continue with Carrie and Erin.
Thank you for saying that, Chris. Because I was like looking, I was like, oh, we're go. I'm like,
we're done.
Like, I didn't want it to end because it's a lot of good stuff.
Carrie and Erin, we're out. Right. We're gonna continue to go, guys. We're not gonna stop. So.
I love it.
Where were we?
Where were we?
So we were talking about the energy, like in the field of like corrections and police and paramedics and things like that.
Well, and here's the problem. It's hard to talk about that because it's an uncontrollable energy.
Yeah. It is.
True.
Oh, I have to say that I think that folks like you, especially Chris, when we went to Trans-Allegheny, you guys are, I'm not a huge fan of trigger objects, but you guys are like amazing trigger objects because there was a spirit at Trans-Allegheny that really did not like Chris at all. The second he found out he was, the second he found out that he was a former police officer, it was the
first one,
the first time,
See that clip?
It was wild. It was super wild.
Which one are you talking about?
So there's this room in Trans-Allegheny. There's one of the floors where they used to house the children and the families. And there is let me see if I can find it. There is a room. It's actually a bathroom, correct?
It's a bathroom, like showers and stuff.
Where a male spirit hangs out, but that is the floor with most of the children. And they said that the spirit does not like when law enforcement talks to him. So they actually asked me to interrogate the spirit. And I actually have an EVP.
Snap.
So while Chris is looking, you found it?
Yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah. So when we went last August with Frankie, Carmela and I, we went to Tala, and you had the experience?
I don't know if it's in the same room.
Is it the same bathroom? But what was the well, there was the one bathroom that you went into.
No, I couldn't go in. That's where he took the kids. The guy would take the kids into the bathroom.
That's this one.
Oh yeah, I couldn't go in that room. I couldn't go there. I had to walk
bounced out of a place. I've had guides bounce me out of places for exactly that kind of stuff. There's like a force field, and my guides are like, "Nope, exactly. You're not going in here."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I said, "Nope, can't go any further."
What happened? Tell them what happened on the women's criminally insane floor.
Oh, that happened too there. Same thing. Frankie was by himself at the end. He's like, "I don't want to be down here by myself." So I said, "All right, I'll come." And then I just stopped. I said, "I can't go any further. This is it." And then the music box went off. The lights went off.
Dead bell went off. The ladies didn't want.
No, but he was okay.
Was this a Violet Women's Ward?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, they don't like.
Do not like the ladies. I don't.
Didn't like me. So I said, "Frankie, you're on your own. Good luck."
So I have that clip. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we lost Erin.
Uh-oh.
No, she's still there. She's just frozen.
She's just
frozen. Erin's frozen in time.
So this clip is, they asked me to interrogate him, and you'll hear me talk to him. It's about a 23-second clip, and you'll hear him respond to my questions. Here we go.
So Ben, I have some concerns, and I just got some questions for you, and I'm wondering, and I'll give you time to answer once I ask these questions. As an officer of the law, I find it a little confusing why you want to spend so much time in the child's ward. Can you explain to me why you spend so much time up here, Ben?
Wow.
Were you able to hear it?
Mm-hmm. We heard it.
We heard it.
That was not amplified at all. That was something we found later. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
He wanted nothing to do with you.
No, and they had asked a series of questions prior to that, and we didn't catch anything.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until they told him that I was law enforcement and I started questioning him that he actually responded. It was weird.
It was really weird. And for a while, there was a mist that followed Chris. It kind of hovered there by him as he's like standing in one spot. And he was like, "You need to back up. I don't like this. You're too close." And it did. I was like, "Oh my God."
I backed out of Tala. I paid to go on that trip. And then
that's right.
I realized I'm like,
right, you did.
I don't know enough about protection in a place like I am not an investigator. I've always said that. I've always been straight up on it. Not come into this as an investigator. But I knew that I wasn't ready for that energy. So I backed out because I didn't think I was be able to keep myself safe enough.
Yeah.
You know? So I backed out.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Surprisingly, St. Albans Sanitarium had the worst energy than Trans-Allegheny, than even Ohio State Reformatory.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful, gross, awful. And we were wanting to go back, but I haven't been there since Andrea blew my third eye open, and like my abilities have come out.
Yeah.
That's just a bad place. And the land it's got hundreds of years of bloody history.
Yeah.
So the land alone really sucks.
So you requested one of the EVPs that I caught at Trans-Allegheny.
Yes. Yes. It is one of my all-time very favorites, but it's the most disturbing thing I've ever heard in my life. Ever.
It's fun.
Yep.
So the first one you guys saw was from our first trip ever to Trans-Allegheny. This one was our second trip. We booked a private, and it was PPIT. It was Donna and Connie.
Mm-hmm.
And Connie's brother.
Right, and Connie's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Carrie. Was Laura with us on that one?
Laura was with us, and my niece Emma, actually. She took Erin's spot.
That's right.
Yeah, she took Erin's spot.
And then it was Anthony Simonelli, Teresa of Seekers, and then it was Audra and I.
And it was Giuseppe.
And Giuseppe.
Giuseppe came with Seekers, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that they had let people back onto the first floor section where they did the lobotomies.
Yeah.
And I walked through, and Audra walked through with me that time because it was so goddamn big. Usually what I do on an investigation is I'll walk through the building by myself, and where I feel the energy, and that's where I'll place my equipment. Well, Audra did it with me because, guys, the main building in Trans-Allegheny is over 200,000 square feet, and it's 4 stories. So we placed equipment as I walked through with Audra, and we placed one. We didn't
get through it.
We didn't even get to the end of the lobotomy section, and it smelled like death. We got a really bad feeling. Audra got sick to her stomach. We had to leave, but I dropped a recorder. There was nobody in lobotomy section when this was recorded.
No.
You guys ready?
Ready.
I'll turn your stomach. All right, here we go. Did you guys hear it?
Yep.
That's a hard one to hear.
It's a hard one to hear.
It really, that was a really difficult one to hear. That one has stood out to me as one of the craziest EVPs, largely because of where we were, where the recorder was, what we know that room was used for. A very disturbing EVP. And I tell everyone about it. Everyone's always like, what's your creepiest, thing you've ever captured? Well, this is what it is. I used to do paranormal tours in downtown Raleigh.
Right.
And they would always ask, when they found out I was a paranormal investigator, they would always ask that question. And I'm like, this is the one. I think for the whole of my life, hopefully, I never come across a worse one. But this will be the one that I answer that question with. And Scott, yes, Sweet Springs was insane as well. That one, I have never been in a more active location than Sweet Springs. It had us all night.
We're actually heading back in 2 weeks. We're going back to Tala.
I know that we're gonna miss.
Unfortunately, Chris and Audra aren't going to be able to join us.
I love that place so much. My best friend.
Literally that day we are moving.
Oh God, that's so
literally we paid for it. We're ready to go.
We paid for it. We were scheduled to go for a 3rd investigation at Tala, and we're moving to Ohio.
Same exact day.
The same exact day of the investigation. I was like, damn it.
Now, is it the main building, or are you guys doing the forensic?
I think it's the main.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe
we're hoping to get into the medical,
right? The
wing.
Medical wing. Or
He
was going to try
geriatrics. Yeah.
See that? So when we went to OSR for the first time, and I'd never been into a place like that, I had the unfortunate experience of feeling the spirit end of lobotomy. Remember that?
Oh, really?
That's right. I forgot about that.
And I couldn't figure it out, and I said, like, oh, it's right here, right, and it hurt. It went on 3-4 hours on and off.
Yeah.
And then I finally started getting a visual of this younger African American, probably like late teens, early 20s. But I think he was developmentally disabled on some level, and he wasn't trying to hurt me. He wasn't trying to scare me. He was trying to get me to feel it so he could explain it to him. I finally, after a couple of hours, because it started in this one room, but then it didn't matter where I went. Do that. And I finally had to say, I am so sorry that this happened to you, but I cannot. You're going to have to lay off.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's why I could go to a place like Tala, and I walked in brand new in the field.
That's a big one. I mean, it's a big one to jump in if you're investigating for the very first time. Yeah. Trans-Allegheny is a big one to deep end of the pool. However, what did you in fact do? Right? You let everybody know the real first worst place that you started sort of investigating.
It wasn't a conjuring house, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
maybe a small little place.
First official job in the field was to go live on that property for 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
With your abilities.
Yeah. Nobody said I was smart, Chris.
Did you take a couple bottles of Xanax with you?
Well, you know what's interesting though is my guides would tune me down to about half.
Nice.
I up on near the amount of
half of the conjuring house.
I didn't. Well, and I lived in the camper most of the time. That camper was haunted. The camper on the property had a suicide in it.
Oh my goodness.
Fun times.
Wow.
No matter
it is
where
absolutely crazy. Aside from all the spirits on the land and the ones in the house and the creepy dude in the basement. It was just, I'm all, but Trans Allegheny would have been too much.
Right.
Oh God.
Right? I was like,
You would have been okay.
In
So those of you
fairness,
that
by
haven't-
that stage, I'd spent some time at the house already. I'd already been on the property and spent, done a couple of events up there. But yeah, no,
I wish
smart.
wish we would have been able to do that one. We have and I know it's not the same one, but it's just that the ties are so weird in my family that one of my great ancestors' name was Bathsheba.
From that area.
And lived in that area. The children, that is what is the discrepancy, because obviously there's children that came out of that marriage. So that's
so what's interesting though is Bathsheba did live in the area. So wonder if it was, she did not ever live in that house ever. So it could be her name was Bathsheba Sherman. She lived in the area, but at the time that property was originally 1,000 acres.
Yeah,
it could have been a neighbor, but it could have been, 800 acres that way.
You guys want to throw an even weirder twist on that?
Always.
That's what the show's about, right?
Right.
Audra's ancestry moves back to that area, and she had an ancestor that was named Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have ancestors that were named Sherman.
Oh. Judson and
I'm not kidding. I could pull up some Shermans on my Facebook page and show you.
That's wild.
We got the records that shows the Bathsheba. So yeah.
They have records Bathsheba up in that area.
Literally, area.
I have seen a deed with Bathsheba's name on it, but we can't determine what the location is because of the way it's worded. We can't find because of course my legal brain, I can read a lot of it. Still funny, a lot of the verbiage is still the same you say, but we're missing a section of it. It's not the farmhouse. It's somewhere else.
Right.
Well, the scary thing is it must be related. It's similar to probably what the movie dictates, where back in those times, somebody that owned property would have owned thousands of acres.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't, and they all helped each other. I mean, they were
Right.
They were Quakers. I mean, they
very well could have owned that property.
She didn't own it, but it's not to say that she didn't spend time on it at some point, helping a neighbor or whatever. But as far that family, So my ghost stalker, story for another show, and his wife, he was actually the reason. So she was a Richardson. The Richardsons owned that property for a long time. She married an Arnold. That's how the Arnolds got involved. And then it was that same 8 generations of family that lived in that house with the parents. Only that family. That was it. So, but because, they were all deeded these huge tracts of land by Roger Williams, who practiced religious tolerance and freedom of speech, whatever, they were given these huge chunks of land. So that's not to say Bathsheba didn't have a property that butted up to that original property line.
Well, and isn't it common in that like era of time for like there to be a number of like Bathshebas in a family?
Potentially.
Like there were some of the like history I've learned about some of these locations is that like Bathsheba could have had like a granddaughter named Bathsheba, or so it could have been like, or a niece, or so. I mean, it could have, especially like how common is that name?
Yeah, I mean, it's
not anymore, and probably shouldn't have been back then because it's not the prettiest name on the planet,
right?
Right.
Well, it's weird. The only connection the parents ever had, that the parents actually had a dog named Bathsheba, but it was like light years before they moved into that.
Oh, wow.
Weirdly.
No coincidence. That's so
no
wild.
coincidences at all.
So they love the name so much they named the dog Bathsheba.
They had the dog first. Like
the dog was
before they.
So they named their kids after the dog.
Right.
No.
Right.
No, so the dog they had, Andrea was much younger.
The
so
Perron family had the dog named Bathsheba.
13. They had a dog named Bathsheba before the farm was even a thing. But that house, you talk about like it when we talk about intentions, like on our show, those spirits told us flat out, we know what your intention is, but we want to hear you say it. Right? They did through Cody and Satori's method. So after that, once I learned that information, everywhere I go, like we're going to a place this weekend and they're filming, so I'm not allowed to say where we're going, but I set my intention before I walk. And you should do that anyway, but it brought me to a level when I realized and recognized and got validation that they already know it, but they still want to hear you say it because I think they're wanting to determine if you're full of shit or not. Right? Because how many
lie? Yeah, like then you can't obviously can't be trusted.
Human tendency, yeah.
How many of these places do we go to? And how many of those spirits are well aware of what your actual intention is, whether it's for, you know, views or clicks or your want history, like insert intention here. But how much does that determine how they're going to treat you in your group?
Right.
While you're there, right? Like I didn't really think that much into it. I just thought it was always a smart thing to set your intention in general. But when I realized that the spirits are very well aware of what's going on at that location anyway, and they want to hear you say it. And I said, that's the least I can do. If I'm going to spend all this time on your property tonight, the least I can do is tell you while I'm there.
Right.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is that we all have a reputation in the spirit world.
Yeah.
There was that time in Gettysburg, the first time we went, where we were doing the digital seance with Ron and Lourdes in one of the ballrooms long after the event had closed down for the day. And someone brought up somebody that has a really horrible reputation in the paranormal community, and the spirits knew immediately who they were talking about.
Yep.
So we all have that. We're all so
connected, or something that was said, right?
It was asshole.
No.
Well, that was their response. No, that was the spirit's response.
I don't
was
know.
Asshole.
There was something.
No, they said, "Who is the asshole?" And the spirit said the person's name.
Correct.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. And we were like, so you can't like.
Spirit knows.
Yeah, right.
You can't lie about it. You can try, but there's no point.
There's a theater in Middleborough, Mass. I've been able to do a couple of the investigations like virtually with Rise Up. And they went one time, they were in the basement. They had been there one time before, and somebody threw a roll of Scotch tape or like packaging tape at Satori on her way out. And I picked up on this like weird, swirly green tornado kind of negative energy or whatever. And it was interesting because he kept kind of like ducking into this corner, and he kept wanting to get Satori alone. Clearly kind of a predator type vibe. So then this other spirit comes through. I can't remember his Larry something now. I can't remember his name. And we were like, okay, so you've got two down here, very different vibe. Larry used to work at the location when it was a garment factory or something. And Ken asked the question, can you see this other entity over here? And his response was no. And the next question was, are you aware of this entity? He said, yes. What's your opinion on this entity? And he spelled that tapped out, asshole. We can't see him. They can't see each other, even though they share the same space. But they are very well aware of each other. And Larry was able to confirm for us that this guy's not a nice guy.
So they can sense the energy.
I was just getting ready to say that. So the energy given off was, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole. But to have a spirit spell out asshole and to confirm what we already kind of knew, I just find it all fascinating. Because to me, it's like if we get to the point where we're not learning anything anymore, then what the hell are we doing? We're all going to need new hobbies, you know? But my brain just constantly explodes all the time.
It never gets old. It really never gets old. Yeah. And I remember when I was on EVPE the first time, and I was telling them, like, I captured that very first EVP in the nursery of Phelps.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, I need to do more. I want to hear more. I want to experience more. And Ron was very funny about it, but he was right that it's like a drug.
Yeah.
Once you get it started, you just want more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Exactly.
And I think it's important to, I think where I've been, and I know I mentioned this earlier, but I think I've been so lucky to be around the people I'm around, because you're working with people who are in it for the right reason.
Right.
Like they're interested in the history. They want to learn about the individuals that live there. Those are the kinds of people I want to learn from. And I think that's where the...
No!
Oh, no, it happened again. Oh, there.
There she is.
She's back.
Oh,
There
she's frozen.
Nope.
And she froze.
This would be a fun drinking game.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Oh wait, here. There you go. Cheers.
There we go. Oh, I have a
cheers. So intention, yeah, I agree with Erin was saying and Carrie, the intention, and we, Carmel and I, we're blessed to have met Chris and Audra and Ron and Lourdes and Jenny and Anthony, and it's a surround. We've been very fortunate in a short period of time, and very blessed to have been surrounded with people with the right intentions.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of great results, and that's, I think, I was like asking Ron, I'm like, why are we getting, like, why do you think we're getting the results we're getting? It's because it's the pure intentions. Like, we're going in, like,
yeah.
So.
Well, and that's the other thing. They're more likely to interact with you if you go in and you're like, hey, we're here to visit with you. We're not here to harm you, bug you. We're not here to take you, send you away.
Right.
They're more likely to interact with you.
Yep.
All right.
So before we continue, there's one thing I have to do. Erin, we would like to give you an award.
For most persistent.
Yeah, your award tonight is for the person with the most appearances ever on Stay Haunted.
Yes.
Judging by your internet, I don't think anybody's ever going to beat it.
Well, what's weird is, so I live with Corey and Jen up here. I live in their like garage studio.
She's the weirdo that's stuck up in the attic. Is really what's.
We just got brand new internet equipment yesterday.
Oh,
right?
Good.
New router, new everything, but we have had wind gusts like 60, 70 miles an hour today, and that's what's killing my internet.
It's working phenomenal. Your provider is just fantastic.
They're fired.
This is the best commercial.
So I am so sorry. Right, don't get Spectrum cable or don't get Spectrum internet. It's garbage. But so my apologies that this has been a thing. Oh my God.
It's okay. Don't worry about
it.
Yeah, we're not talking
or it's
about
Ghost, one of the two.
I hate to cut you guys off, guys. We are going to have you back on.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we actually went almost 30 minutes past what we were supposed to, but we got it.
Race won't mind. He won't mind.
No, Race don't mind. He actually messaged and said, "You guys are great."
That's awesome.
Yeah. We really enjoyed it. This is a fantastic show.
Awesome.
I agree.
We appreciate it.
I do want to point out one thing: how energy transfers from person to person. If you look really close at Carrie's screen, the red couch sitting behind Carrie sat in my office in Surprise, Arizona, and traveled with Chris and Audra all the way to North Carolina.
Yep.
Yes, it did.
Yep. And then I bought it from them for my office. It's red velvet. It has a matching ottoman, which is actually downstairs because I was propping up my foot when I had surgery on it. I was like, but yes, this couch is my favorite. It goes with the vibe. You'll see these little square pictures everywhere. I've got them from all the haunted locations that I've been to.
That's
so
awesome.
it matches the vibe so well. Yeah, I love the couches, and you know what? It's a hide bed too. It's a pull-out sofa, so our guests sleep in here.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
very comfortable too.
In bed. If you guys haven't noticed, Todd and I are competing.
We're dueling.
We're dueling with the posting comment.
You go, Chris. No, you go.
No, you go. There you go.
Yeah, we've had a great time. We have had a really
Erin
great time.
and Carrie, please tell everybody where they can find you guys because you guys are phenomenal.
You want to say it? You want me to say it?
You go first. Your list is longer than mine.
Okay. You can find us on Well, That Was Weird. Every other Thursday, we alternate with Cody and Satori. We're up this week. We're going to be doing a deep dive into the Akashic Records. So you can find us on Facebook and on YouTube on the Dead Air Full Spectrum Network. And then if you want, please do. You can shop at our skincare shop, This Little Light of Mine, skincare.com. And then we also have that Let It Shine Spiritual Wellness. You'll see the connection. This Little Light, Let It Shine. That was intentional. We've got, there are 4 of us. Zach will be joining us in May, so there will be 5, a number of different services that we offer. So that's lisswellness.com. That's what I got. Erin, how about you?
Just on Facebook. Erin Kathleen Bush. Instagram, same deal. And I'm getting ready to start offering Reiki sessions soon. I just haven't quite figured what that's going to look like yet, but I'll be getting that out in the next couple of weeks. But that'll all be done through Facebook and Instagram. So Erin Kathleen Bush. That's it.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much, guys. You have such a great
Thank you, guys.
Guys, I will
So
be,
nice seeing y'all again.
I will be reaching out to get you guys back on here again, and I won't take no for an answer.
Okay. We'll commit. We'll do it.
Thank you for educating us.
And don't forget, guys, not only will you see Audra and I and Todd and Carmela at Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, but Carrie will also be there. Do you have your own table this year?
Yes. Yeah. So gonna be there with the skincare shop. We're trying to get Erin down there.
I was just going to say, Erin.
You just need to hop in Cody and Satori's car, which I can do. I just have to figure out job, hotel. I have to figure out a lot of shit before I can.
Well, like I said, you can
because I want to go
mom
so
and
bad. Yeah,
I know.
We've got the hotel at the conference center. The good side, not the bad
The
side.
good side.
Exactly. Good side.
The good side. Anthony's side.
Yeah. So I have to admit, Audra and I screwed up, and I booked Saturday, Sunday, leaving on Monday on the good side. So I booked Friday night up the road. So we will be at Gettysburg Bash on Friday night. We'll just have to stay up the road, and then we'll transfer down.
Gotcha.
Saturday.
That's all right. We'll be there.
But we will be there even from Ohio.
Yeah.
It actually saves us
10 minutes.
20.
20. It saves us 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Hey, there you go. It's close.
20 minutes is 20 minutes.
20 minutes, but we do have to go through Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And my mom is coming, so she gets to see her friend Chris Aldo.
Oh,
yay.
Mom came the first time, not the second time.
She did, yeah. So the second time she didn't come because we had the table last year, and I didn't have any way to get her back to the hotel. So now she's coming this
But now
time.
you're staying there, so she can
We're
come
staying
and go.
there so she can just go up to the room.
Perfect.
Nice. So now we
We're
just got to
excited.
get Erin. We just got to get
All right,
Erin.
Erin.
Yep.
Pressure's on,
Yeah.
girlfriend. Pressure's on.
I know. I've never been to
Satori
Gettysburg.
and I
I'm
will
dying
do
to go.
everything we can to get her to go.
Yeah, need to
Good
go.
to know.
Have it work.
I have to get a new job and figure out. Well, Corey and Jenna watch the dog for me, but
The 3 of us are work homeless.
Yeah.
I forgot your job ended.
Look at that.
yeah, my job ended the other day. Yeah.
So what are us 3 gonna do? We need to start our own something then.
We should. Yeah. We'll have to figure that out.
Right. Love it.
I'm a pro at setting up LLCs by now, so no problem. We'll just figure it out.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks, audience. You have a great audience. They're super interactive. That's
always
very, very helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
On the third show.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure that you check out Erin and Carrie's show. Well, that was weird. And I'm not just being a smartass. That's the name of the show.
It is the name of the show.
He's right.
Fact.
That was weird. Yeah.
If you've come into your abilities and you're having trouble getting in touch with what you're dealing with, these 2 ladies are the best ones to talk to. I can be kind of a direct prick sometimes, so don't reach out to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Chris. No,
You're good, Chris.
no, we everybody is here to support. That's why we support Parent Unity. Guys, reach out to Carrie, reach out to Erin. If you can't reach out to him, Carrie's going to drag Erin to Gettysburg. You can talk to him there.
Yes, absolutely.
But no matter what you do, if you want to make sure that your energy is on the level, reach out to Carrie, reach out to Erin. Erin will help you get in line. Carrie will give you some soap that'll get you fixed up a little bit.
Yep. Get you nice and clean. It'll be great.
It'll be fantastic. You'll be clean. You'll feel energized. You'll be balanced. But most of all, you'll stay haunted. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you.
Thanks, everybody.
you.